Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Harayu. Today's topic is DBMS Database Management System subject 3rd unit. In our channel, 1st unit, 2nd unit playlist is available. If you not watched, just you go and see that videos. SQL queries. Query is nothing but the question. A basic SQL query follows the structure. Select a column list in which we are selecting the column. We need to select the column list like ID name, ID, customer ID, like that, column name. This is a column. ID is the name of the column list. We need to select which column we are going to search. From table name where condition is, we need to check like this by writing the code. This is the foundation for retrieving or taking data from database. It is the storage area where the information is stored. The select clause, it is the clause for selecting column, like that, table name. Specifies what to fetch. Fetch is nothing but opening. From identifies the source table and where filters row. We are selecting the column list in which the table is present. SQL is nothing but sequential query language or SQL, structured query language. It is the format of a table formats. It is also known as relational model. Both are same. The select clause, it specifies the fetching data for selecting from the table structure where the condition is satisfied or not. We are checking. Constraint, these are rules. Set of constraints, set of rules are known as constraints. It is applied to table column in which we are searching the table column to enforce data integrity. Column types, we have 5 types: primary key, foreign key, not null, check, unique. Primary key, this contains different or uniqueness. Uniqueness nothing but each element is differ from another element. It does not allow the duplicate values with the same name, like DBMS, same names. Should not contain duplicate values is known as uniqueness. And not null values, it should not contain null values or empty values. It should contain different elements in a table and all should be filled without null values is known as primary key. Foreign key, it is used for relation between two tables. It specifies or enforces relationships between tables, like here ID is present, here ID is present. These two tables contains a specific key, that is foreign key. ID is the foreign key. Primary key, it should be different, like a size number. When we are writing a table, we will mention size number, customer name, size number, S number. It should contain different values. There is no duplicate values in S number. Like that, foreign key is used for relation between two tables, like ID. Not null, it should not contain empty values or null values. Check, it is used for checking the condition. If salary must be greater than 0, it should not contain negative. Salary is nothing but money. Paying money for a job or a work is known as salary. It should contain greater than 0. Unique constant, it is used for no duplicate values in a column. It is somewhat similar to primary key concept. Should not allow the duplicate values or similar names. Another topic is trigger. It is used for performing an action. It is used for storing data procedure that automatically executes a specific event, like inserting an element, updating an element, like deleting an element. Application, it is used for a table, for example table. DBMS is a subject with a SQL language, structured query language in format tables. It is used for inserting, updating, deleting. Is known as a trigger. It is used for stored procedure. Storing a value in a table format is known as trigger. Performing an action like a union. These are set operations. Phase is a set containing 1 to 8, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 5 elements. P is another element. It is used for storing 4, 5, 6, 7 values. Then 6, 7, 8. Then the union of set A and set B is adding together set A and B. 1, 2, 3 is a set elements. 4, 5, 6 is a set B elements. And two sets common elements are included as intersection between these two sets is known as 7, 8. Intersection is a part of deleting the common elements. Union is opposite to intersection concept. Union is a process of adding all elements together, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Adding together elements, 8 also. For example, you can write any elements like here A, B, C, D, E, F, and other elements you need to write in another B element. Union means adding all together. Intersection means common elements. Union is a type of merging or adding results from two queries and removing duplicate values by default is known as union. It is important for one mark question. For SQL, the code is written as selecting a name from a student table, union, selecting name from teacher, adding A is a student table, B is a teacher table, and adding these two for getting the needed table together. Students and teachers adding to is a process of returning all distinct names for both tables or both sets, like this is known as union concept. Intersection is a concept of returning only rows that appear in both query results, like similar column is returning is known as intersection, like this. Here A is a set, B is another set. Union for writing all elements together. For intersection, common elements writing together. For this set, writing intersection is 7 and 8 elements in a set is known as intersection. For example, here A is a table contains some names with some another concept similar to this column, and here another table containing another same elements like same name. Here age is included, here salary is included. In these two tables, common element is name. Returning common element is known as intersection concept. Here select name from student and intersect with the second table. Select a name from teachers. Then write intersection is nothing but common element like names. Structured query language queries are structured. How constraints enforce rules on data. How we are following the rules concept. Constraints concept is known as sequential queries concept. Triggers automate actions. And how set operations like union, intersection, except concepts, combining or filtering results across multiple queries. It's part of a border into introduction to sequential queries. Role in managing relational databases, like a basic SQL query. The core structure select from where. Selecting an element from table where it is we are choosing is known as SQL query concept. Constraints are nothing but rules like primary key. does not contain duplicate values. For n key, it should contain some relation between two tables, like table A, table B. It should contain some relation. Not null, it should not contain null values. Check, it is used for checking a particular value is present in a table or not. Unique is a key. It is used for checking different values, like not allowing duplicate values is known as unique. Triggers are automatic procedures for adding, inserting, updating, deleting concept that run on insert, update or delete. Union and intersect, these are two opposite concepts. It is used for set operations to combine or filter results. Except is another set operation concept. It is used for set operation similar to union and intersection. It is somewhat similar process. For union concept and intersection concept, it returns rows from the first query that do not appear in the second query. First element row will be inserted, then after second query will be appeared. This is the example for except set operation. T1 is a table or set containing some elements, and T2 is another set elements, and similar numbers 3, 4 is included in both the two sets. With excluding these concepts, the remaining part of set first set values will be returned. Is known as except concept. T1 except T2, like 3, 4, 5, 6. With these two elements are excluded, remaining all values will be returned. This is the SQL code. Select a name from students where roll number in. Select roll number from which marks where student marks greater than score greater than 90. We should select a student table in that roll number column is taken. In that we are choosing an element that scores every student must marks greater than 90. Finds students who scored above 90 marks. It should be included. Below 90 it should not be included. This is the process of nested queries. In similar words, nested query is the process of the query contains subquery. In that subquery, inserting an element. Nested query is the concept of inserting a query inside another query. It is a query and we are inserting another query in that query. Is known as nested query concept. Nested query concept. Job ID is a table. It should contain average, minimum salary and maximum salary. We are inserting here salary concept. In that we are including minimum salary members and maximum salary members. These two are included in a query. This is the big query, original query. We are inserting inside a subqueries is known as a nested query concept. This is two examples of a nested query concept. In exam you can write any these one example for getting good marks. It is an important concept. Another concept is aggregation operators. These are used for checking, adding total number, sum, average, count, minimum, maximum. Aggregation function of taking data for getting result, for counting, adding, sum, average, maximum, minimum purposes we use this concept. Often used group by to analyze data sets, taking all numbers, total numbers, adding purpose, average. In that average is nothing but taking middle value, count, total number of rows, columns, like that. We are taking count. Minimum means lowest value, maximum means highest value. For calculating these operations, we use aggregation concept. If you need to attempt like this questions, just you remember the concept, what it is, the purpose, It is used for these 4 concepts, and you write this table or diagram format, and you write each step by step point wise manner, then you will get good marks. It is enough to score good marks for attempting questions. Null values. Null represents missing or unknown data in SQL. In table format is known as null value. Null is nothing but no, or not attempting a particular element in a table is known as a null value. Rules. Arithmetic with null represents results like is null. Here name is there, the person is absent, then we will keep in attendance absent. It is a null value. No value, zero value are known as a null value. Name, place, phone number. This is a table. You need to write any example like this. Write some names which you are like, and then write some places, and you keep it a null value or empty value for a particular element, and another column also you keep a null value. This is an example for null. Null is keeping not a value is known as null. Functions like or null or NVL can replace the null value concept. It is by default values. We are using in default places. Complex integrity constraint. These are rules that is used for writing a table format or doing some tasks. Trigger concept. For taking some domain constraint values, we use this concept, complex integrity constraint. These are rules that ensure data consistent way in a validity beyond simple constraints. There are some examples like referential integrity, domain concept constraints, assertions, triggers. Integrity concept includes domain constraints, entity integrity constraints, key constraints like foreign key, primary key, not null, unique, union, like that. Referential integrity constraints. It is used for referring a table. Entity integrity means taking a value with some attributes. We use entity integrity constraints. Domain constraints is a value that somewhat similar to integrity constraint concept. Referential integrity. Foreign key must match primary key is known as referential key. Referential integrity. Domain constraints or values must fall within a valid range. It should contain valid range is known as domain constraint. Like pass marks is 21. Maximum range is 21. After getting 21 or 21 above marks, it is a candidate pass marks. Like the domain, it should contain a valid range. Range of pass marks is 21, like that. Assertion. These are conditions for multiple tables, different tables that should contain some values, some conditions. For that multiple tables is known as assertion concept. Like salary, total salary less than or equals to budget, like that. Trigger. Automatic checks or actions. When data changes or inserting, deleting, updating concept is known as trigger concept. A trigger in SQL is a special procedure that automatically executes when certain events occur in a database like inserting, updating, deleting. These 3 operations, they are used to enforce rules for maintaining consistency or lack changes without requiring explicit use actions. Application that contains a table like operations like inserting, updating, deleting in a SQL language. This is an example of triggers concept. If a student grade is updated, a trigger could automatically record the change in a table or in history a table, like that. Active databases. An active database is that one does not contain or store data passively. It can react the events. Active database is that does not, it should not stores a value, but it reacts for an event. Like insert means it is reacts for inserting concept, like that. It will react for inserting an element event, but it's not used for storing a data passively. It is achieved through the mechanisms like triggers and rules which allows the database to respond automatically when conditions are met. If in your phone update system is came, then you will update. System is updating, but phone is not updating. Like that it will perform the task, but it does not store the value. Like that it is used active database concept. Active database are especially used for real-time systems where immediate responses are needed, or monitoring transactions for like phone pay, Google Pay, like that. Enforcing constraints or sending alert messages like you need to update your system, you need to prepare for exam, like that. If any special day occurrence means it will give us alert messages, like that. Is used for alert messages. Action is performed by active database concept with specifications, querying and update concepts. External event purpose, it is used for action, performing an event, but it does not store a value. Key concepts: SQL queries or constraints. To define rules on data, we use this concept triggers to automatic those rules, like inserting, updating, deleting, like that. The concept of an active database, which extends condition of database by embedding these reactive behaviors, like course. For keyword course, we use course ID, course name, course fees, like that. We use course elements in a table. For section, we use section name, section members, section number, like that. For student, we use student ID, student name, student address, student age, student marks. We use these elements. This is the part 2. For preparing part 1, you will get 12 marks, like long question 10 marks and 2 marks for short questions. You read a part A or part B, you will get good marks for scoring in this chapter, but you need to know all topics for attempting the question. Better to prepare all the concepts and cover all concepts for getting good marks. It will help you. Schema refinement. Schema is the structure for improving a database design, is known as schema refinement concept. It is a process of improving a database design to avoid inefficiencies and anomalies. It's part of database management system where students learn how to move from an initial schema to a robust one. Robust is nothing but strong one. Moving from one structure to another structure without avoiding inefficiencies or less space conditions, problems caused by redundancy. It is the process of storing a data or same data in a multiple places is known as redundancy. It may cause some problems like inefficiency in wasting storage purpose, updating anomalies purpose, insertion anomalies, deletion anomalies. Anomalies in DBMS is used for updating purpose, inserting purpose, deleting purpose. We use these 3 concepts in anomalies in database management system. It is used for short questions, 1 mark questions. Deletion anomalies. Removing one record may intentionally delete valuable things, like removing some records in a particular table. It may sometimes occur some problems, is known as deletion anomalies. Without duplicate existing information is known as insertion anomalies. It is difficult to add a new data. There is no space in data. If a table contains 10 rows, there is no 11th element space in a table, so it contains insertion anomalies. Adding new data is difficult, like 11th element is a table. It is known as insertion anomalies concept. Updating anomalies. If in a table the 5th element is DBMS subject, it should replace by SQL subject. Like updating, this element is removing and it is replaced by SQL element. This is a process. Update anomalies. It is the concept of replacing an element by another element, and it is the process of updating concept. Update anomalies. One copy changes but others does not, data becomes inconsistent, is known as update anomalies. In some cases, updating may leads to inconsistency process. It is a problem of updating, is known as update anomalies. Decomposition is a process of breaking a large table into small tables, is known as decomposition. It is mainly two types: lossless decomposition, lossy decomposition. This is the table. It should contain 4 elements. Then the big table is dividing into small tables. Again this subtable is divided into again small tables. This is the process of decomposition. In decomposition concept sometimes causes some problems, is known as problems with decomposition. It is another next concept. Lossless decomposition. It is a relation is split into smaller relations for reconstructing purpose the original relation exactly by joining them back. Like writing these flow charts in exam, you will get a good impression for invigilator. Decomposition contains two types: lossy decomposition, lossless decomposition. No information is lost in process of lossless decomposition. And in coming to example of a lossless decomposition, R is a relation for a table contains A, B, C 3 elements is decomposed or decreased or divided into two types like R1 table and R2 table. R1 table contains A, B 2 elements and R2 contains B, C 2 elements, another 2 elements. Joining on B restores the original R. After adding these two contains remains original table, is known as lossless decomposition. Lossless name itself explains about lossless decomposition. Loss is less, is known as lossless decomposition. Lossy decomposition, it contains loss. When decomposition causes a loss of information, this is the main concept of introducing or are also known as introduces spurious tuples when relations are joined back. This is considered undesirable because the original data cannot be fully recovered after dividing the tables. After again going reverse process, if a big table is present, in that we are dividing the big table into small tables. After dividing these two tables, after adding these two into longer table, it remains lossless, is known as lossless decomposition. When coming to another type, lossy decomposition, it is causes some undesirable property like it not give original table as the first table, is known as lossy decomposition. The loss of information will be happen in this type. Why decomposition? Why this concept is introduced? Because redundancy problems. Redundancy problems occurs for duplicate values is present in the table. It may consist some value results in a inconsistency or a redundancy problem. So this problem recovering purpose we used decomposition concept is introduced. Inconsistency and spaces purpose, wastage in space. Update, insertion and deletion anomalies are also introduced. For poor designed schema, for structure, schema is nothing but structure. Normalization concept also introduced. For overcoming these problems, normalization concept is used for decomposition is the key step in achieving normal forms like 1NF, 2NF, 3NF, BCNF, 4NF, 5NF. These are the types of normalization concept. Problems with decomposition: lossy decomposition, non-dependency presenting like trade-offs, achieving both lossless and dependency. These two together is known as trade-off. Lossless joint decomposition: when a relation or a table is decomposed into two or more smaller relations, When a relation or table is decomposed into two or more smaller tables, relations, the decomposition is lossless if joining them back using natural join concept is a process of reconstructing the original relation without affecting or losing data is known as lossless join decomposition. Here name itself understands about lossless. Loss is not present. After lossing, we will join or reconstruct the natural concept in decomposition topic is known as lossless join decomposition. Why lossless join decomposition concept is introduced? Because of the reason ensures that no information is lost during normalization concept. So lossless join decomposition is used for no loss of data. In normalization concept, this is introduced. For example, R is a relation contains ABC, three elements, is split into R1 and R2, AB and BC elements, and after joining these two, we will get back the original table. Like R is a relation ABC, three elements. This is the main purpose of this concept. Another concept is multi-value dependencies. It is also known as MVDs. It contains attributes, rows. Tuples are nothing but attributes. Records, rows, are nothing but rows. ABC are the columns. T1, T2, T3 are the rows or records or elements. They occur when one attribute in a relation uniquely or differently determines multiple independent sets of values of another attribute. Multi-valued different values are present in dependencies concept is known as multi-valued dependencies. It should not depend on the other values. Notation: A implies B. A multi determinants. Example, in a relation student ID, hobby, language. Each student contains different values with different hobbies, IDs, languages. And a student hobbies and languages are independent to each other. Independent is nothing but not depend on other values. Knowing ID determines the set of hobbies and separately the set of languages. Each student contains different languages, different hobbies, different projects they will perform. Multi-valued determinants are the basis for fourth normal form concept. It is the main point. In writing exam, you underline and put inverted commas for the main concepts. It looks like impressive for correction purpose. Another concept, reasoning about functional dependencies, FDs. It is a process of relationship where one attribute uniquely determines another. Rule number, student name. X is a determinant, Y is a dependent. Determinant is independent. Dependent is a depend on X. This is a process of reasoning about functional dependencies concept. Functional dependencies, why it is introduced? To help to identify redundancy concept, inconsistency, and it will guide us to normalization concept. If a condition is there, if it is yes satisfied, then it will goes to the another statement. Then it is yes, it will return the statement. If it will no, it is invalid. In first case it is no, it is invalid. Then after second case also it is invalid statement. Like that. Used for analyzing functional dependencies, we decide how to decompose relations while preserving constraints and avoiding anomalies. Problems is known as this concept, reasoning about functional dependencies concept. Normal forms types, first NF or 1NF, second normal form or 2NF, third normal form or 3NF, BCNF, Boyd code normal form or Boyce code. It is used for 1NF No repeating groups. All attributes are atomic or different. It is used for eliminating or deleting multiple attributes. Multi-valued attributes. This concept is introduced. After 2NF is introduced, adding 1NF to no partial dependencies is known as 2NF. It removes the partial dependency concept. Or a non-key attribute depends on a part of composite key is known as a 2NF concept. 3NF is adding 2NF and transitive dependency. It does not allow the transitive dependency concept. And another non-key attribute. BCNF, Boy's Code Normal Form, it is used for stronger than 3NF. For every X element is a functional dependency, X will determinant, X is determinant, Y is dependency. This is a functional dependency concept must be support. It should contain super key. It is for higher level. For dependency elimination purpose, super key is introduced. BCNF concept is introduced. Another concept is fourth normal form or 4NF. It is used for extending voice code normal form. BCNF is known as the fourth normal form. It is used for handling multi-valued dependencies. If S hashtag, P hashtag, PR hashtag are the column lists and it contains some values. After splitting these two into one table, these two elements into one table, and again these two elements into one table. This one table is written in three different table formats. This is the example for fourth normal form. A relation is in 4NF. It is Boy's Code normal form. It must satisfy BCNF. It contains 3NF satisfaction and it contains 2NF. 2NF contains 1NF satisfaction. It has no non-trivial multi-valued attributes. 4NF dependencies other than candidate keys. And it eliminates a redundancy caused by independencies other than multi-valued facts. Like taking student ID, hobbies, languages. It is a table before we discussed before topic. Here student ID, student hobby, student language. These are three elements in a table and each student contains different IDs, different hobbies, different languages. Like that. Avoids redundant combinations. Like inconsistency combinations. It will reduce. Last concept, fifth normal form or PGNF. Fifth normal form, also called projection joint normal form, PJNF or 5NF. They will ask like indirect way. What is PJNF? Explain me in details means explain it in detail means you need to write this topic. Or fifth normal form, like they will ask for what is normal form, what are the types means you need to write what is normal form, what is the purpose of normal form and how many types are present, and write first normal form, second normal form, third normal, fourth, fifth PCNF. These types in a sequence manner, step by step way. Writing points you will get good marks. Deals with joint dependencies, situations where a relation can only be reconstructed by joining multiple smaller relations. One long table is there. After dividing long table into smaller tables, after joining smaller tables, and we can reconstruct it into bigger table, is known as a projection joint normal form or fifth normal form. Every joint dependency is implied by candidate keys and a relation can only be reconstructed by joining multiple smaller relations, and it satisfies the 4NF format, eliminates redundancy. For all topics somewhat similarity, somewhat connection linking is there. It looks like all topics are similar, but somewhat different is there for all topics. Eliminate redundancy that arises from complex joint dependencies in supplier parts, projects, decomposition into smaller tables. Example, in supplier parts, projects, decomposition into smaller tables. Ensures no spurious tables. When reconstructing, big table is dividing into no join dependency like another subtables like s hash p hash. Like you can write like customer id, customer name, customer place, salary. You can write dividing first column, second column, third column, first third, first second, like that. You need to write all these concepts. This is the third chapter of a DBMS subject. Follow all these topics and write proper notes and visit our channel for seeing all videos and support by subscribing to Survey Photo YouTube channel. It gets me to do more videos like motivation for me. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video to your friends. Thank you for watching.